Michael Busch is entering year 3 with the Chicago Cubs. And after a big jump in 2025, the question is being asked, what's next for Busch? We're going to preview that. We'll look at his 2024 season, his 2025 breakout, and then Busch, the future cornerstone of the Chicago Cubs. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. Hey, listen, we are in the off season, but that does not mean that the fun has to stop. I appreciate all of you that are steady tuning in to these episodes as they drop. Thank you guys so much for commenting below and letting me know your thoughts. Let's get in tune. Let's get involved. This is your first time tuning in. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the show. And also, if you want, you can leave a comment below, but you can also leave me a voicemail to voice your thoughts and opinions, because right here on Chicago Cubs Central, the official voice of the Chicago Cub fan lives here. So we can leave that voicemail at 217-816-5498, or you can write me at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. I will accept both. Or if you have a polarizing enough comment, it can make it on the show if you post it on YouTube, on X, or anywhere else. Listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys that tune in to this show. It means the world to me. You guys have no idea. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody on X, everybody on Spotify, everybody on Apple, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitch. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel, to watching Chicago Cubs Central. Listen, I appreciate you guys. Remember, we are your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Please make sure that you guys tune in. Thank you. Now, with that being said, we got to talk about Michael Busch. Michael Busch supplied a lot for the Chicago Cubs in 2024 in his first campaign with the team. And then in 2025, he just took it to another level. Michael Busch was somebody that got bolstered into the leadoff spot for the Chicago Cubs in 2025. He's somebody that saw his home run numbers jump in 2025, his usage jump, what he was able to do on first base, still providing you that great defense while providing you more home runs. The lead home run getter for the Chicago Cubs that featured a team that featured Kyle Tucker. You would think Michael Busch would be second or third on that list. That had Seiya Suzuki, that had PCA, had all those guys. But no, Michael Busch led the team in home runs. So first and foremost, we want to take a look at 2024 for Michael Busch. I really want to break down why I am so high on Busch. Let's look at his 2024 stat line. He had a .248 batting average with 21 home runs, 65 RBIs, and 152 games for the Cubs. So just to put things into context, when you look at him, really, this is the first time in 2024 Michael Busch was getting a lot of playing time. Of course, the Chicago Cubs traded for him over from the Dodgers, and literally we just sent them some cash, and they gave us literally a guy, man. I mean, they really think about it, Michael Busch did so much for the Chicago Cubs, but we'll get to 2025 in a minute. But back in 2024, he still had to find his way. He was still adjusting to the MLB pitching, and he was still trying to establish himself. Because again, when he was playing for the Dodgers, he's playing behind Freddie Freeman. He didn't get no time in behind Freddie Freeman at first base. So, like I said, it was just one of those things where, hey, Michael Busch, they was traded to somewhere where they would give him some shine. He would get some time, and he would be able to show what he has in the tank. And kudos to Michael Busch, because he immediately began to do so in this 2024 campaign with the Chicago Cubs. Again, his positives and areas for growth, that, like, again, in 2024, you saw that the power was present. He did hit probably one of his most memorable home runs, was a walk-off home run in the rain. As the rain began to fall. That was probably the coolest 2024 moment for Michael Busch. But again, his batting average was modest. But he still had work to do to develop and just be consistent. What we asked out of Michael Busch coming out of 2024, heading into 2025, was to be consistent with your approach at the plate, consistent with being able to come in and provide offense for this Chicago Cubs team, a team that would definitely need that from him. Michael Busch, like I said, had some down moments in 2024. Also, he had some moments where he would slump. And again, those moments showed up in 2025 too. We'll cover that. But again, like I said, for me, Michael Busch in 2024 just looked like a guy that was on the verge of, or a guy that could figure it out and be on the verge of something great. Well, then let's look into 2025. 2025, the key numbers for him, his batting average jumped almost 20 points to 261. He got 34 home runs, 90 RBIs, an OPS of .866 across 524 ABs. He also was the leadoff man against righties. Against lefties, they would put Nico Horner in at leadoff position. But Michael Busch still showed that he could handle the baseball no matter who you put him in front of. And it became a thing where he got so hot that Craig Counsell couldn't just sit him on the bench. He had to let him play even against lefties. The word on the street about Michael Busch was that he just did not see the ball well against lefties, that if you put a lefty on the plate, at the mound against him, that they would get him out. And Michael Busch began to slowly but surely prove that theory wrong. He proved and showed that he could be your everyday leadoff guy, no matter who you put against him. And it became something where Craig Counsell, kudos to Michael Busch on this, had to leave him in the game. It did not matter who he was going up against. And for what it's worth, you really see the jump. I mean, look at those numbers from 248 to 261 on the batting average. You ask for more consistency out of him. He clearly showed you that he can be a consistent hitter for this team. Michael Busch also with 34 home runs on the season versus 21 in 2024. He also got 25 more RBIs in 2025 versus 2024. His OPS jumped up to .866, and again, he had a lot more ABs and a lot more opportunities in 2025 to show what he could do. The advanced metrics, when you look at him, his hard hit rate, he barreled up the ball 16.4% according to StatCast. His hard hit rate was 46.8%. That puts him in the top percentile for the league average when it comes to the hard hit rate. Michael Busch literally showed you what he could do for this team. And again, I was just in awe of how hot he was able to get, and how, I mean, it just seemed like every other day he was hitting a double, or he was hitting a triple, or he was, getting on base, figuring out different ways to get on base. And again, when you could turn over the lineup and you have a guy on base, like, because remember, they switched up the lineup toward the end, and you begin to see Dansby Swanson, PCA, and Matt Shaw hitting a little bit towards the end of the lineup. So then you turn it back over, and then Michael Busch is the first guy up. I mean, that leads to a lot of doubles, triples, and then home runs also. And a lot of times the Chicago Cubs being able to put up crooked numbers on teams. You saw them do it in the postseason against Freddie Peralta. You saw them be able to manipulate these clubs that thought that they would be able to get Michael Busch out because you put a lefty on the mound. But Michael Busch, to his credit, still not where he fully needs to be hitting against lefties, but doing much better from his rookie season to his 2025 breakout season. It's just strange to me that Michael Busch was not an MLB All-Star. But again, I tell you guys, I think I told you this during the season, during one of the live shows, Michael Busch will be an All-Star in 2025. Outside of injury, I have no doubt in my mind. I'm sorry, 2026. Michael Busch will be an all-star in 2026, but we'll talk about what he looks like in 2026. But again, he had big moments. He had the grand slam versus the Brewers that helped him clinch the home field advantage. Again, and he also, year over year, his improvement in power and more consistent production. And guys, I have to tell you something. Michael Busch is just getting started. Like, we haven't even seen, I don't believe, the best of Michael Busch yet. But we're going to cover that in the next topic. We're going to cover what we will see from Michael Busch in 2026. I have been talking ad nauseum, and I still will continue to talk about the product, the brand that has changed my life and can change yours too. What's that product? It's Dubby. It's an all natural energy supplement that you can take on the daily to help you get through those urges, those moments when you want to nap, then when you hit the cliff, or if you had a long night the night before and need to get through another crazy day of the hustle and bustle, the 9 to 5, whatever you got going on. Dubby is your energy drink. That's right. Not to mention, when you buy a container of Dubby, it actually equals out to almost $1 per drink. You can mix it in with whatever you want, whether that be a juice, whether that be a water, whether that be some type of other energy flavored drink, whatever you want, you can mix Dubby with it and it will do the trick for you. Guys, I don't understand what you're waiting on. Dubby takes care of everything for you. All you have to do is go on to the Dubby website and place your order. And at this time, when you do that, all you have to do is put in Cubs Central Pod 2024. That's right, Cubs Central Pod 2024, and you get 10% off on your Dubby order. That's right. Listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, Jitterless Energy. It's they have all different types of different flavors for you. Dubby has what you need. Be better with Dubby. Michael Busch saw his numbers jump in 2025 to unforeseen mounts. It had put him in line for a Gold Glove, but it also put him in line for an opportunity to show really what he can do behind the plate. So, guys, what can Michael Busch do in 2026 to establish himself as a cornerstone of the Chicago Cubs? So, with those numbers, he's now firmly the Cubs' primary run producer at first base and DH. I do not feel that outside of grabbing a Pete Alonso or something like that to DH for the Chicago Cubs, Michael Busch is safe and sound at first base. His defense is great. He can produce for you defensively over that first base, and then obviously you know what he can do with the bat, with his home run power now, as well as the way he can drive in runs with doubles and singles too. Michael Busch had a really, really, really good 2025. Again, his fit with the Cubs, seamless. The team is building around strong young bats. You look at Suzuki, you look at PCA, you look at Michael Busch. Busch's breakout aligns completely with that core key set of players. And you just realize that he is one of those guys, or going to be one of those guys for the Chicago Cubs. But again, no player is without fault. What can Michael do? What can Michael Busch do in the winter of 2025 and in spring training to really cement himself at that first base position, gain himself maybe an all-star nod for the coming season? Well, he needs to raise his batting average or his OBP to elite levels, not just good, but elite levels. And then again, he needs to stay healthy and produce at that home run RBI pace. Michael Busch had a great 2025 season, but remember, baseball is a lot like what have you done for me lately? And if Michael Busch is not producing in 2026, everybody will forget about what he has done in 2025. Um, does the Cubs organization view him as part of their long-term core or a trade asset? To me, in my mind, he definitely is a part of this long-term core. They have him for under control for many, many years to come. And again, he aligns with PCA, aligns with Nico, aligns with Matt Shaw. Like I said, he's a little bit older. Again, he's 28 years old. But again, he still aligns with that younger crew, and he is able to produce at levels that they need from him. So, do you see Michael Busch being a Cub for the next 6 to 7 years? And then what performance threshold should he hit in 2026 to lock in his role? I'm going to say that, yes, I do believe that he is going to be a Cub for the next 6 to 7 years. If I had to answer what performance threshold should he hit in 2026 to lock in his role, I want to see Michael Busch become an all-star. I want to see him become an all-star in 2026. I think that would be a great accomplishment for his career. He's definitely capable of doing it. I understand he might not start just because Freddie Freeman is a fan favorite, but Michael Busch being an all-star in 2026, I think would solidify him as one of the game's best first basemen and put him in line for another Gold Glove, as well as maybe even a silver Silver Slugger Award. I would like to see potentially him up those home run totals in 2026. But more than anything, he's got to be able to hit lefties. Really, really, really focus all offseason, all winter on how to hit lefty so Craig Counsell can have him in every single day and we don't have to worry about putting somebody else at first base. So again, that's my thoughts on that. Michael Busch is taking a major step forward from promising rookie to emerging star, but the question remains, can he maintain this level? So I need you guys to comment below. Do you think Michael Busch is going to go even higher in 2026? I believe he is. And then let me know what stat would most convince you that Michael Busch is locked in as a cornerstone piece for the Chicago Cubs. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, go Cubs, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.